Hey, it's Eric Rokeach with FitnessBusinessInterviews.com, and I've got my first international interview with the fitness business dude, Sam Felton. And he lives across the pond in East London. Now, Sam's got a great story to share. He's running a fitness business that is growing pretty quickly, and he's got plans for world domination in the fitness industry. And the real cool thing is that Sam's running a boot camp that he has out of a church. And we're going to dive into that as to why he does that, real interesting things, how he did it, and he's going to share with us everything he's done to build his business and what his plans are for the future. So, Sam, thanks so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. It's a pleasure, Eric.
All right. Got to start. You have a really interesting story of how you got into the industry. Can you share with us just a brief history of how you got into the industry?
Yeah, I'll try and be as brief as I can. So I basically came out of uni having done like a website design degree.
Okay.
And then from after uni, I just wanted to do something really crazy just for the summer. And so I walked from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is Britain. And that was absolutely awesome. So that's 1,000 miles. Like that took me 62 days. And then after that, I sort of went back to where I went to university, and became a website designer. And after 6 months of that, I was just, I'd had enough already. Just sitting down at a desk typing away, doing code and stuff. So I decided that I'd just, go to New Zealand and become a snowboard instructor, just like that. I mean, I'd always been into extreme sports and stuff as a kid, but I really wanted to get into snowboarding properly. So I headed out to New Zealand, did my snow sports instructor qualification, and then for 4 years I was snowboard coaching people around the world, sort of like in the States, in Vermont and Colorado, in Canada, Austria, Switzerland, and then New Zealand a few times too. And then by the end of those years, I got to a level where I was actually coaching snow sports instructors. So I'd got up pretty high. And then once I reached that, I felt like I'd hit a bit of a dead end, really. And my last season, which was last year, was in Canada, and I was watching The Last 10 Pounds, and anybody in Canada will probably know what that is, and that's with a ex-CFL player called Tommy Europe, and he just helps people lose their last 10 pounds and stuff, and I was pretty inspired and things, and decided I wanted to become a personal trainer, and I did that. After my season, I went to Spain, studied at the European Institute of Fitness, got my Master Personal Trainer diploma, and then came back to the UK, moved in with my brother in East London, and set up in a gym, Fitness Fest, and that was going okay. I was there for about 4 months, but I was pretty much running myself into the ground, doing free consultation after free consultation, and also just doing hours after hours of working, doing one-to-one. And then eventually I decided in November of last year, right, I got to set up a fitness boot camp, got to go for it. And I'd set up my own personal training company, Smash Training, and then my boot camp, Smash the Fat boot camps, has been running since November, and now we've got 3 boot camps running, and I'm looking to franchise.
Very cool. All right, now there's a couple things I want to dive back into your past a little. You came out of, for everybody who's watching, he said uni, that means university for everybody, and you also broke up when you're talking about the walk, but I want to get into that because it was like the day after you left school. How did you decide, all right, I'm going to go for a 1,000-mile walk? What was that all about?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I really, just because I've been in education, since 5, just like everyone else. But I don't know, I just felt something within me. I needed an adventure, and I thought, what a better way to start off like an adventurous life than to, conquer your own country, essentially. On that walk, I really found out things about myself and my own country. Just the diversity of the UK. From Cornwall right up to Scotland. It's just such a diverse place, and it's great to get out there and actually meet people, because on the way I stayed with so many different people, and people were really, really friendly and sort of like helped me with staying at their places for free, and things like hotels allowed me to stay for free because I did it for Cancer Research UK, which is a cancer charity over here. And yeah, they were just willing to do that and willing to allow me to stay, and it was just amazing.
The planning process for that, where did you say, listen, I'm doing this walk, I'm raising money for cancer research, and then you called and reached out to all the hotels and these people and just let them know they were coming, that you were coming, and then that's how they let you stay for free?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
Well, sometimes, I'd usually plan it so that I did a few days at a time.
Okay.
Plans like where I'd be staying a few days at a time, and I was also camping on the way, so I had my tent and my things on my back as well. So if I ever got stuck, I could just pitch up. But yeah, I'd only do a few days at a time. So I'd ring up and just say, yeah, would it be all right to stay? I'm doing this walk, and then sometimes that'd lead into the conversation. I wouldn't be so upfront as to say, could I stay for free because I'm doing it for charity. And like sometimes it worked out that I just sort of turned up and then told them my story, and then they just say, don't worry about it, it's cool.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, what did you do to raise the money?
It was a case of just letting the word out through friends, and then friends took it to work and things like that, and just telling them the story, and yeah, I mean, I suppose I just got the word out just by telling friends, and then it just spread from there.
Okay, so you did that. You wrapped up with that. You decided to just, after do a 1,000-mile walk, just out of nowhere, you decided to, again, do something crazy and just up and go to New Zealand. I guess you like doing things big. Where was, I mean, of all the places to move, you're going to move halfway around the world. Why did you decide to do that?
I really found New Zealand absolutely fascinating. I mean, when I finished university, Lord of the Rings had been out, and sort of I sort of jumped on that boat a bit, which is a bit, cliche, but it was just amazing. So I just headed out there, and yeah, just New Zealand. Honestly, everybody's got to go. It's just an amazing place.
And what was it that, because that's a huge step outside of your comfort zone. I mean, people are afraid to move out of their hometown. I mean, you moved, thousands and thousands of miles away. Did you just up and just go, or did you have any worries about it? Kind of talk me through your mindset and your process when that happened.
So I didn't really, I planned it obviously, and it's probably about a 4-month planning process. And I did it with a company that I ended up working for, called Peak Leaders. And yeah, I mean, they've got just everything set up already. So it's like a whole inclusive deal. So they sort out your accommodation, they sort out your food, they sort out absolutely everything. So there wasn't really much to worry about in terms of that. And I don't know if I'm unique in this sort of way, but to me, moving halfway around the world to go snowboarding, that sounds freaking awesome. So I didn't really have any worries or anything. Okay. So I didn't really think about it in terms of that, and I was just like, sweet, I just want to go do it.
Okay, and then from there, you grew, expanded, you traveled across, you did stuff in the States, teaching people and how to snowboard and do all that. What was it, that decision that said, all right, I've had enough of this type of lifestyle, where then you decided to move back to London and do your own thing?
Well, because I got up to that sort of that high level and things, and I suppose the good old phrase of, it's lonely at the top. I was sort of in charge of snow sports instructors, and so my responsibilities were quite high. And also, I mean, it was the fact that, I was season after season drinking a lot and being exactly being relatively unhealthy.
Okay.
Really, I mean, I was quite healthy. I mean, I did obviously eat my 5 fruit and veg a day and things like that, but I really wanted to take my health to the next level, because in Canada I ended up reading a lot of stuff by Craig Ballantyne, and yeah, that was sort of like my initiation into the health and fitness industry. and I just found it absolutely fascinating and just kept on reading, and I thought, yeah, now's the time to change.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, and then you finally done that, gone through that change, that transformation. Also physically, you changed how you ate. You did all of those things. What was the decision to start your own business? Why did you decide to do that?
Oh, what, instead of working at the gym, or?
Well, that was okay. So actually, let me back up. So you went and worked for the gym. That wasn't a business that you had inside of the gym.
Yeah, it actually was. Yeah, it was a business inside of the gym.
Okay,
So
yeah, tell me how that came about.
Yeah, I mean, the course that I did was pretty good, and they do like a whole business module and about what you want and things like that, and try and get real specific and stuff. And because of my experience from snowball coaching and things like that, and being in a role of responsibility and things, I decided right now's the time that I actually want to create something of my own. And like the role that I was in was quite entrepreneurial, so sort of like you'd have to go to like local businesses and stuff like that, and try and cut deals for all of the snow sports instructors and things like that. So I'd really that's when I started to get my entrepreneurial flair, because before that I wasn't an entrepreneur at all, honestly.
Okay.
I was just like, just real laid back and just really didn't give a crap, but now, like, I think that role just gave me an entrepreneurial flair, and I was just like, yeah, I just want to set up my own thing and go for it.
Okay. And you went, were you connected with this gym, or did you approach them, or was this through the program that you did your business through?
Yeah, it was actually through the program.
Okay.
That I did my course with.
Okay. And how long were you running that business at that gym for?
That was for 4 months. Yeah, that was for 4 months.
All right. And you weren't happy there after 4 months?
Yeah. I'm quite a quick decisive guy, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah, I just decided that I really wasn't happy at all, because I was reading up on so many blogs and things about trainer burnout, and I felt like I was starting to head that way, and I wanted to nip it in the bud before it got any worse.
Okay. So then from there, what was next? Before you left, were you planning on having your own business outside of that, and were you doing the planning while you were working there?
Yeah, definitely. I was planning on the fitness boot camp where I was going to have it and things like that. And there was a transition period of about 2 months of when I was still working at the gym and setting up the boot camps, and then doing in-home personal training as well.
Okay. So let's say now you have your boot camp up and running. You said it's since November, so you're looking at 5 or 6 months you've had it up and running. How many clients do you have right now?
60.
Okay. So you got 60 clients in 5-6 months. That's great. Where do you hold your boot camps?
At Church Hall.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Why did you pick a church?
It's a church just because it's a bit of a pillar of a community, I think. A church, and they've sort of got a base of people already. So that was pretty good. When I first approached them, the father there actually did sort of shout outs for me in the sermons and stuff, and that got me a couple of people as well. And also, it was the rent's cheap as well, okay. But when I started, I actually got the rent for free in my first month.
Interesting.
Because I did my first boot camp for charity, and I did it for Cancer Research UK, and also half of it went to the church as well. So they were like, "Yeah, you can do it for free. That's fine."
Very cool. Now, you went into the church. Did you go approach them knowing that they already had pretty much a built-in clientele base for you to pick from? Was that a conscious decision, or was it just you were looking for space and you approached them?
I had an inkling that I wanted to go to a place that sort of had a base of people, because I'd read all the stuff on all the blogs that you guys do over there in the States about sort of doing cheerleader facilities and gymnastic centers and stuff, and trying to get a place where they've got a client base already, essentially. And there's not really a gymnastics centre near me, so I thought church has got to be the next best thing. And plus, it's a 5-minute walk from my house.
You can't beat that. That's great. How did you approach them? What was how did you go to them and say, hey, listen, I'd love to run my boot camp classes in there, let's make this work. Walk me through that process.
So I literally rung up the father of the church. So the phone number's just on the front door. Rung him up and said, sort this out. And then he referred me to the lady that runs all the scheduling things. And, there's one leg bums and tums, class going on. So I had 3 pickings, and I sort of designed when I wanted to do my boot camps around sort of how I want my lifestyle to be.
Okay. Now, did you go to them and say, hey, listen, I've got this boot camp. Can I run this here? Or did you try and sell it to them and make it so that it's beneficial to them?
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit of both, really. I just said, I really want to make a change in the community, because where I live in London, the borough's called Tower Hamlets, and it's got the worst obesity statistics in London, and so I really want to make that change within the community personally, and I told them that, and they were willing to take my money. And,
okay. All right.
And also help out in the community, right?
Where did you come up with the idea to do the charity? Because that's a great idea, and obviously you didn't have to pay, your rent for the first month. How did that come about?
I was just trying to think of a way, because I was trying to do all this on a shoestring. Had a pretty tight budget, and I thought, what's the best way to get things sort of up and running real quick and no money involved at all? And so I just just came up with the fact that I could offer them to raise money for them, and then do it for free, and then from there, you get the clients from there after that month.
When you approached the church, did you go to them when you were looking for the space? Was that something that you were telling them right up front, that you were, obviously looking for the space, but you would do a charity for them when you started?
Yeah, I did tell them that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was probably like a big deciding factor for them to take you as a business in their facility.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, was the price that you were doing the cancer charity for, was it the same company or whoever that you used for the walk that you were raising money for?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so it was easy. Now, what did you do for them? Did you get them to promote for you to help spread the word about it, or was it all done within the church community?
It was all done within the church community, really. I didn't really get in contact with cancer research, and I just gave them the money.
Okay. All right. And you said you split the profits between the church and then how much was raised, right?
Yeah.
You gave them that. Okay. And how did you pull your clients from that charity? Was there anything special that you did to get them to come in and try your program?
Oh, what, when I was promoting it?
Yeah, once you were promoting it, you got people to come from the church. How did you get them as clients from that initial charity that you did?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was just a case of showing them the value of what I had to offer during that month. Okay. So it'd start from day one, with the first session, doing an absolutely brilliant session, and then after that, giving them all of the nutritional information and the phone consultations that I do with people, and just showing them the true value of what I do.
Okay. And you were doing that what I'm getting at is during the charity, you held it was kind of like a charity drive. People would come in and exercise. I want to find out if there was any process or something that you did during that to try and get those people into your classes. Like, were you offering them a free trial after that? Like, was there anything that you were doing to get them in there?
On the first one, there wasn't anything that I offered afterwards. I just told them the price, £99, so that's like $150. And yeah, people were just more than willing to pay.
Awesome.
They're just like, that's great. But because in the new year, that's when I started my second boot camp, and then I launched a charity one, and then on that month, I wanted to try and get a bit of a higher conversion ratio. So I offered them their first month at half price.
Okay.
After the charity boot camp.
All right, very cool. Now, you said it was your second month, so I'm thinking that you actually you run your sessions as in like 4 to 6 week blocks, not as ongoing throughout the year?
Yeah. So 4-week blocks.
Okay.
The start.
Okay, and they pay per session. Is there anything that you do to get them to come back for another session, or is it pretty much just one session and then they're done?
They do like a free trial week.
Okay.
For people. And yeah, it's 3 sessions a week.
Okay, and do you, at the end of those sessions, those 4 to 6 weeks or however long that it is there anything that you do to have them sign up again for the next session, or so that way you have them months down the road instead of trying to sign them up again every session?
So currently I've got like my 3-month membership
Mm-hmm.
in place, which 75% of the members are on.
Okay.
And then in the future, just as I'm setting up, I'm obviously going to take it over to 6 and 12.
Very
6
cool.
and 12.
Are you doing credit cards? Are you taking those now, or are you doing cash and check?
Cash, check, and PayPal, and standing orders, direct debits.
Okay, cool. And then you said you're running it 3 days per week, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, the other thing that I thought was really interesting is when you first started, and you're still doing this, you're in a church community, so word spreads like crazy that you're doing this. But I want to know, how did you get the father, the priest, to talk about in front of everybody what you were doing?
I just sort of asked him. I think that might have been a bit cheeky.
Okay.
But I mean, he was like, yeah, and especially the fact that I suppose the first one was for charity.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just, he was more than willing just to give a shout out to charity. So,
is he doing that still, or like is the word spreading pretty good within the church, and you're just able to keep on pulling clients from there?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay.
And it's a church that's sort of like on its way up because it was a bit dilapidated before, but a load of money's been sort of pumped into the area and stuff. So it's sort of up and coming, and I'm getting more and more clients from there.
Now, what else are you doing within the church to let people know that you're there? Like, what type of marketing are you doing in the church?
Within the church, I've actually got banners up on the railings outside the church, and because it's on a busy intersection, I get a lot of people that sort of see the sign and then sign up for a free trial week on the website. And then also within the church, I mean, I do seminars and things at church, and every time I do it to raise money for charity, for charity and for the church as well.
Okay, so your real big, your big marketing thing that works is doing the charity drives and raising money for charity, and that also in turn brings people in, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I take it since you're in the church, most of your clients are from the church. Are you pulling from outside to try and bring in more people?
Yeah, definitely. When I first started, I did a couple of flyer campaigns, and that brought in quite a few people.
Okay.
Yeah. It's surprising. I know prints bringing in crazy.
Okay.
But that did pretty well, just because it was the charity thing.
Right.
That was again, I think. And then it snowballed from there. But then the main thing is my referral system.
Okay, take me through that.
So the referral system is for every person that they refer, and if they become a paying customer, they get 50% off of their next boot camp, whatever that person paid. So, for instance, if one camper referred another camper to the trial week, and then they come to the trial week, and then they become a paying customer after that, paying £74.50, which is like $100 or something like that. Then that camper that referred them would get $50 off of their the following boot camp.
Okay, and that's working real well for you.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously it accumulates. So if they get 2, then they get 3/4 of the price off, and if they get 3, it's free.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Now, are you holding, for anybody that comes in that's maybe not referred, are you holding free sessions, like a free trial session or a free week?
Yeah, so the first week is all week. And I mean, I pull people in from Google and Gumtree and things like that.
What's Gumtree?
Oh, sorry, it's sort of like Craigslist.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. I don't know. Is that big over there? I've never heard of it, so I'm kind of curious.
yeah, it started off, I think, in Australia.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, it's basically the UK version of Craigslist.
Okay. So you're actually doing pretty well from Google. Are you paying for any advertising through anything like Google AdWords or anything like that?
No,
Nice.
I've done a couple of Facebook campaigns, and that's been okay.
Okay.
But the main thing is probably through Google, really.
Just through a regular having a website and your
Yep.
optimization, and that's just people see it.
Yeah, organic.
Okay. Now, what type of competition do you have? Because you said you're in East London, right? How many? Is there a lot of fitness businesses in the area, or is there not many?
um, it's a real competitive market in London.
Okay.
And I mean, I've got fitness boot camps, a few in the park just north of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called British Military Fitness. And they're like a chain over here.
Okay.
And yeah, the reason that I'm able to compete with them is just because I'm indoor.
Okay. So most of the people are outdoors, and over there the weather's not that great all the time, so anything indoors is good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And what are you doing to keep them on board? You said right now you have them, for 3-month packages. If you want to keep them for another session, is there anything that you're doing special for them to try and keep them on board?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really trying to bring sort of like a holistic approach to everything that I do, and not just sort of like giving them a nutrition plan and then just sort of sending them on their way. So I do the 30-minute coaching single boot camper a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not everybody schedules one in because I don't think everybody feels comfortable sort of doing that. But I think yeah, that works really well. And just trying to sort of like really personalize it for people. I'm trying to figure out how to make the nutrition work for them personally.
Okay.
And then also I do stuff like sleeping CDs as well.
You should tell me about those, actually. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, my buddy over here, a guy called Alan Carson, actually like does sleep entertainment CDs.
Okay.
And so it's actually to get your brain frequencies into the desired frequency range for sleep. And so like it's like a half an hour track, and it's just sort of like this real soothing music and things. And yeah, that seems to have helped people for sure. And like little things like that. So I do 2 blogs a week, and then I've also got my membership website as well, which I update weekly with like exclusive stuff. So like doing interviews with other fit pros from around the world and things like that.
Now, is this stuff all free for your clients, or do they pay extra for it?
Nah, this is all free. It's all inclusive.
Okay, so those are part of the things you're doing. Now, do you do anything with them socially outside of the boot camp? Because the church community is very active and very social. Is there anything that you do with them, not related to specifically, exercise and nutrition?
Yeah, definitely do social events. So just doing dinners and things like that, and trying to come up with trips and things like going, just cinema trips.
Okay, and they probably really enjoy that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I always get feedback at the end of every single boot camp from absolutely everyone. I sort of make them put it out in front of me.
Okay. Well,
And
now, how do you get them to do that? Because a lot of times, this is the thing that I originally was like, and a lot of trainers are, is they're afraid to ask their clients for things once they have them for clients. Do you just straight out come and say, listen, I want your feedback, will you give it to me, or are they willing and open and just to come and tell you?
I think at first, like, they're not willing to tell you what they actually think.
Okay.
And that sort of comes with time and them getting to know you. And then once they know you, they feel more than welcome to actually come up and tell you that needs to change and things like that. But at first, I get people on the last session of the 4-week cycle, before we work out, I'll just get them to fill out, a two question questionnaire of, what you like the most and what you'd like to see improved.
Okay, is there anything that you're doing in terms of maybe like a transformation contest? Have you done anything like that yet?
Yeah. Done contest, referral contest. Transformation contest finishes this month actually. And I've got one girl that's done absolutely amazing. Lost, probably about, what was it? I think about 5 inches in a month.
Wow.
And doing stuff like that.
Now, is that within most of the clients within the church, or are you promoting that outside the church also to get people to come in?
No, that's actually just within my campers. So whoever wins gets the next month of boot camp for free.
Okay.
So it's more of a retention tactic more than anything.
Okay. Now, what kind of feedback have you gotten? I mean, you're still pretty new with your business, so you're still learning a lot of things. What kind of feedback have you gotten about your business?
That it's quite good.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I think like the main thing that people want to find out about is how to stay motivated and keep the momentum going. And yeah, I mean, they love the workouts and stuff. The fact that it pretty much changes every single time. I mean, obviously it's all periodized and things like that. And yeah, I mean, you can never get enough recipes. People are always like, I need more recipes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a combination of ingredients, but.
Okay, absolutely. Now, do you have any additional programs that you're running to bring in extra money? I know you're doing the coaching calls. All those things are included for free, but do you have, extra seminars or anything that people can pay for so you have extra revenue?
Well, I do in-home personal training, so they can get extra sessions with me personally as well, and like I've got a couple of people who do that. So that's quite good. And I'm probably doing I'm trying to stick to just doing 10 hours of personal training a week, because again, I don't want to hit that burnout, and I want to try and deliver as much to my clients as possible. And so yeah, just the in-home personal training really. And then also, I mean, I'm doing information products as well. Okay.
Tell me about what you're doing to expand outside of the church. Are you looking to open another location? Because you get 60 clients, in a church, that can get pretty tight. So are you looking to go anywhere else or do anything further with it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking to actually franchise the boot camp sort of across London. I don't want to, spread myself too thin just yet in terms of sort of, doing it somewhere where I can't actually see what's going on.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm doing, just promoting the franchise basically.
Okay. I'm curious, I want to dive into that a little bit because most people, they're like, all right, I'm going to run a boot camp and I'll open another location. You want to franchise it. Where did the idea come from to actually do that?
It came from my business coach, Mark Tipping. And yeah, I just think franchise is probably a better way to go because then it's somebody else's business and it's still earning you money. So, I mean, obviously you give the support, and you give them your systems and things like that. And obviously you're the franchisor and you still got ultimate control, but it means that you're not going to be micromanaging or anything like that.
Right.
And also it means that they're more motivated to go out and earn money probably.
What's it like trying to get things set up and organized for a franchise? Because there's a lot of systems involved. So how much work is involved for you?
The way that I'm setting it up is that, they sign a franchise agreement, and the first month they do a month's internship at my boot camp to see how I run things, literally hands on. But they get a real good feel for it because I'm a kinesthetic learner myself, and I think that's probably the best way to learn. Just feel it out. And then after that, during that month, actually, we'll be marketing their first their first boot camp.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll be doing, coaching calls with them, as well as, I supply like a boot camp manual with that as well. And because of my website design background, I set up their own standalone website and things like that as well.
Very cool. Now, what are you doing to market that franchise? Because there's obviously, like you said, there's some competition. There's some big boys in the game too. So what are you doing to market it?
So I've got in contact with training providers over here, and I've been featured in Fitness and Business magazine, which is run by the European Institute of Fitness. That mine through, and I did an article on video blogging and stuff like that, and then bit of a pitch at the end for the franchise. And yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of people that have been interested through that, and then also another company, Premier Training, over here is another training provider. I go to their careers conference, which is every 6 weeks. And just do a little talk there and just chat about the amazing idea of fitness boot camps and things, and then pitch it at the end as well.
Okay, how do you get in to speak at a place like that?
I just told them I'm looking to franchise, and I'd love to offer your graduates like a discount on the franchise. And training providers are always looking for ways to get people jobs straight. And so they were more than willing to allow me to come in and deliver that.
That's great. So you do that every 6 weeks, and then at the end of each presentation, you just say, "Hey, listen, this is what we're doing. This is how I can help you," and people are pretty interested in it.
Yeah, definitely. They're interested in the idea and things. Read up on it, and I mean, I've done like a few interviews with people,
okay,
but I just haven't felt like they're quite there yet, or not in terms of like qualifications, because I mean, you don't have to have like a serious amounts of qualifications or experience, but you just need to be in the right mindset. And yeah, I just didn't feel like they were ready.
Right. Well, you want to make sure that people are good for you and for your business too. So, that being said, like I said, there's a lot of big boys out there. What is it that makes what you're doing different from what some of the other licensing or franchise programs out there?
I'd say just my undivided attention, really, and the fact that I'm going to get people to a place where they're going to be earning £50,000, so $75,000. In about 60 days, 60 to 90 days probably. And I mean, just my whole approach is probably maybe a bit more holistic in terms of actually delivering coaching calls and things like that. And then also like the membership website that I've got, their campers of their camps actually become members of that membership website, so they don't have to do any of that at all. They just got to concentrate on getting in campers into their camps.
Now, do you give them that material? Do you say, okay, this is the marketing techniques and the things that are going to work for you? Do you supply all of that for them?
Yep. That's all in my boot camp manual, and I've got a couple of manuals like stable systems and shoestring marketing and things like that.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, and pretty much just run them through what I did to get mine to where it is today, and yeah. Okay,
now, are you focusing on, because I think this would be genius on your end, trying to get everybody to go into churches and do it, or are you just are you giving them other options of how to find a location to run their business?
I prefer them to be indoors, for a start, and be in churches. Definitely, okay. I think it's a bit of a hidden resource for sure.
Huge.
And churches are always looking for money, ways to make money. They're always short on it. And yeah, I definitely actively encourage them to do that. But I wouldn't force them to do it, I don't think.
Okay, because I think, like you said, the gymnastic centers and cheerleading centers are big here in the U.S. That's what they talk about. But churches, it's such a close-knit community that I think that's a genius idea if you're really pushing people towards that, because everybody talks about everything in there, and I'm sure it's been so easy for you to just pull clients from. So that's pretty cool. Now, with the franchise, do you help them in the manual? Do you help them down the road? So say there are a few months, do you continue to give them coaching? Do you continue to pump resources at them to keep them successful?
Oh yeah, 100%. So like in that first month, in the internship, they'll be doing like a health and fitness education program, as well as like the marketing education as well. And that is literally ongoing, and I'll definitely be doing coaching calls with the guys, and having meetings once a month to spitball ideas and things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm all about ongoing support for everything that's under my wing.
You said you had a membership site for them, so for anybody who's a member, they can go on, and that's where a lot of the training tools are?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how is it that your website and design background has helped you kind of work everything else together with your business?
It's definitely helped in terms of setting up the websites big time, because I know that's a big barrier for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And when I first started doing the websites, I was doing the classic brochure site and saying that I'm a fully insured personal trainer and stuff like this. And as time's gone on, I've learned a lot from all of the websites that actually work, trying to hit emotional buttons and stuff like that. But in terms of like my website design background actually helping me, that's pretty much launched myself, just because everything's pretty much online now.
Interesting. Now, for people who are franchisees of your program, are they each getting their own website for their location, or is that something that hasn't happened yet?
So that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
So that'll actually that will happen in terms of them having their own standalone website,
mm-hmm.
For their own boot camp. But then I'll be having my own website,
right,
with all of the listed ones as well.
Okay. Now, how broad is this? All across all of London that you're looking to do this, or is it across? Like, are you trying to go bigger with it?
Nah, just across London.
Okay. Now, how do you separate yourself then? Like, if someone has one, and is there a certain radius that someone can have one franchise, and then they're not allowed to open another one within it?
Yeah, there'll be definitely geographical locations. So London's a highly densely populated area, sort of like New York, Los Angeles, and so it'd probably be like a couple of miles.
Okay. Very cool. Now let's. I want to dive a little bit more into the online side. I was touching a few things there. You sell some info products too, so you kind of you got your business. You're doing franchises. You're got online things. What do you have going on in the internet world?
In the internet world, information products. On my personal training website, I sell subscriptions to my membership website,
mm-hmm.
And that's just £5 a month, so that's $7.50, and that's just all through PayPal and installment plans, and I've got a few people on that, so that's quite good. And then you can also buy the package as well, from like my nutrition plan and stuff like that, and that costs £50. That's £50. Sorry, 75 US dollars.
I know what you mean, but just for everybody else, what is it in your membership sites? What are you offering?
So that's where you can actually download all of the stuff, and then also the exclusive audio interviews that I do with people as well. And I think this is something that every single fitness professional should do, is start doing audio interviews. It's so easy, just using Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, are those interviews, are those for free, or is that part of behind the paid wall, like someone pays and then they can access them?
Yeah, that's behind the paid wall. And what I do for that is that I do previews on the blog. So, it'd be like the first 5-7 minutes of an interview.
Okay.
And then just, a bit of a pitch at the end saying, yeah, if you want to get the rest of it, you got to be.
Okay.
a member.
Does that work well for you, given like the samples, the 5-7 minute ones, and then giving the full ones behind?
Yeah, definitely. That's hooked a couple of people.
Okay.
So pretty good.
Now, is this separate? Because I know you have the blog, the Fitness Business Dude. Is this separate? Are those interviews for free, or are those also paid for?
No, so my fitness business blog, Fitness Business Dude, yeah, that's all free. That's all free. And yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to provide as much information that I've learned from people to other fitness professionals and stuff.
Awesome. Now, I'm curious, like, what's the difference between the Fitness Business Dude, where the interviews are free, and then your membership site?
Oh, what? As in my membership website?
Yeah, as in, you're giving, like, for example, I'm interviewing you, I put it on my blog for free, you're doing the same. Is there anything different, like the types of interviews that you do, or the approach in terms of the content to give to the people that are paying for it?
Nah, not really. Not really. I mean, yeah, I'd say the difference is that with Fitness Business Dude is the fact that I'm actually I'm trying to set up myself, trying to network with people and so trying to give as much free content away as possible.
Okay.
But then, with my personal training business, that's being a profitable company at the moment.
Right. Now, I have to ask this: the Fitness Business Dude, where did that come from?
Yeah, it's quite a funny name, isn't it?
It sticks in your head, though. It's a funny name, but it like I told you, I had come across it, just briefly, and the name stuck in my head, and I was like, I know I've been, when we first chatted, I was like, I came across this before.
That's awesome. Yeah, that just pretty much came from my snowboarding background, because everybody's a dude, including the girls, and so so I run a fitness business, and I used to be a snowboarder dude.
Okay.
Combine the two together, Fitness Business Dude.
All right, now I want to know this because you've got the boot camps, which are pretty new. You're franchising it. You're running online membership sites. You're doing the blog. I mean, I don't even know what else you're doing. I'm sure there's a ton, but where are you finding the time to manage and do everything and stay on task and, not burn yourself out?
Definitely. So I like to manage my time ruthlessly. So blocking things off and doing things all at once.
Yep.
So for instance, like all the free trial week inquiries that I get, I think I've got about 10 just waiting in my inbox right now. And I'm not going to ring them until Wednesday afternoon.
Interesting. Aren't you afraid that you may not, you may lose some of them if you're waiting that long?
Definitely not. I know when I'm going to call.
Okay.
And then also the fact that, I'll be ringing them up personally, and then just chatting with them, just confirming with them that they're going to be coming to the trial week and stuff like that. And have they got any questions for me? And just running them through the process of sort of like what happens and things. And it hasn't seemed to harm me at all.
Interesting. All right. Now, I want to take a little bit of a different approach on something here. A lot of the people that I've spoken to, they've had their businesses up and running for years, sometimes 10, 15, 20 years. This for you is still really young, so you're in the trenches learning phase. Can you tell me a couple of the challenges that you've come across with your businesses and being new with it?
Trying to get people actually along to the boot camp obviously is a big challenge. Even for people aren't willing to come. I mean, the challenges that I've probably faced are just the fact that maybe on the first couple I didn't allow that many free trialists in, and people didn't show up. So just making sure you've got systems in place to confirm that people are coming. So what I do now is that, I put them into email groups and mobile phone groups as well, cell phone groups, and then text them the day before, email them the day before, and everything.
Okay. Now, was there any challenges that you had in terms of originally getting people to pay you? Did you have to overcome anything like that, or was it pretty easy from you early on?
I didn't have any specific problems with people paying. I mean, you always get the you just pay per session and things like that. Just say no, it's just a monthly option, and if you only give people certain options, then that's all they've got, and that's all they can do.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, we talked about franchise, what you're doing online. What are some of your plans for the future beyond that? Like, would you have big dreams and goals? Where are you going with everything?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll be franchising the boot camp, and I'll be having 2 by the end of the year in London, so that'll be good. And then I've got plans for information products. I've got my one already, which is boot camp owner's guide to pulling workouts.
Interesting.
And stuff like that, which is sort of like pulling workouts with towels and stuff like that. So it's quite unique. But then I've got other information products with that as well. And then with Fitness Business Dude, I do coaching as well. And I like a couple of people doing that already, but I'm doing those for free.
Okay.
And just making sure, basically, that what I offer actually works.
Right.
And so then there's no financial, financial risk there at all. Because if somebody was to pay me money, and then what I said didn't actually work, then that's terrible. That's really unethical, right?
Right.
But yeah.
All right, so you're making sure that your stuff is working right before you're going out and doing everything, which is obviously a smart thing to do. Now, we talked a little bit about the challenges, some of them you had. Have you had any big failures where you fell flat on your face? You had anything where you're like, man, this sucks?
Yeah. I mean, the first seminar I did fell flat on its face. I had like 4 people there. Okay. It was more just sort of like a group consultation, really, more than anything. But then, the second one that I did, there was like 30, 40 people there. So that was cool. But the reason that was probably because I just didn't promote it enough, and maybe I didn't quite have the client base there quite yet, and maybe I did it too soon.
Okay.
But, I'm not going to let that get me down.
All right, so you've got all these things going on. You run a boot camp business, franchising, online things, internet, products, coaching, so on and so forth. Somehow you're finding time to manage it all, but where can people find out more information to make you even busier?
Yeah, man. So if people go to www.fitnessdude.com, they can check out my fitness business blog there, and check out all my products and service and what I got to say. And then, but if people want to find out about my health and fitness views and things, they can go to my personal trainer website, which is www.personaltrainingeastlondon.com.
Very cool. Sam, it's been awesome. Learned a bunch of things. I wish you the best of luck. You've got so much positive things going for you, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Eric. Thanks.